If you called 911 right now, what would you do if you got no answer? Live 5 News has learned it can take a while to reach a dispatcher.
There's a personnel shortage at Charleston County's call center and means it takes more time to answer those emergencies. In this Live 5 investigation, Debbie Chard talked with the North Charleston family who's frustrated by the slow response.
It's an emergency. You reach for your phone and dial 911. Seconds count while you wait for a reassuring voice.
911, what is your emergency?
But Wednesday, when a stay-at-home mom said a man was trying to break in, she didn't hear that voice calling from both a landline and cell phone.
It looked like he was kicking my back door, trying to kick it in.
Her phone shows her 911 call rang 1:06, enough time for 2 Super Bowl commercials. The man still at her door, dispatchers were finally on the line. When police arrived, the man was gone. And sadly, it's not the first time that they have called 911 and had to give up.
The phone just rang. And
Last spring, Bastion had a serious medical emergency.
tried to dial again, same thing.
The former military police officer drove her to the ER.
I never had to call 911 before and never thought that this would happen if I did call 911.
And repeat that address for verification for me.
We recently paid a visit to the center where calls come in from all across the county. They're working to improve the answer time. The average time now
It's about 7 seconds it takes us to answer that call as compared to what it used to answer us 2 years ago. We would answer that in 3 seconds.
a problem Lake says they're hoping to solve with people.
We're 40 people short.
When staffing is stretched here at the dispatch center, it takes longer to answer your calls. On average, from 1.9 seconds at the start of 2014 to 7 seconds in September. In December, the county put out a call to recruit dispatchers. More than 400 people applied, but only a select few will end up here.
Anything that's written in blue, what does that mean? Blue is for you.
Training is a 4 to 6 month process. Add to that the months it takes to be hired. Ariane Parsons began her application in July and started training in December.
If he was breathing normally, you won't see that question.
When she graduates to the dispatch center, Parsons will face plenty of stress.
Someone who's decomposing, decapitated, someone who was burned.
Industry-wide, if you stay more than 3 years, chances are you'll stay longer than that. But usually that first 3 years determines whether or not this is the job for you.
Burnout is it's an issue.
I think no matter what we do on the training piece, it really never prepares them for what they see when they're on their own on the floor. That pressure of now I'm actually responsible for somebody's life.
Lake says it's not just the stress that prompts a career change. Pay isn't great, about $15 an hour.
If you imagine being paid a clerical wage to go do a clerical job, but you're responsible for somebody's life and death or their house burning down or the officer's safety on the street, there's quite a difference in between.
The county uses staffing agencies to fill in gaps. Temp workers answer non-emergency calls. Staff works overtime. Your tax dollars paying $1.4 million in overtime in 2015. And workers have already clocked $1 million in overtime for the first half of this fiscal year.
You're just as nervous as them because you know the instructions that you're giving are the instructions that can possibly save this person.
While the county works on a solution, you're asked to stay on the phone until they answer. With Jenkins' experience, he advises,
Try to be as calm as possible.
Debbie Chard, Live 5 News.
Now, we asked the county to look into this North Charleston family's complaints. After a preliminary review of the calls, they say Bastion's first call from a landline rang 17 times and was answered in 1 minute. The county said they believe she laid the phone down after 10 rings and called from her cell phone. We'll continue to follow this story.
The Lowcountry's news leader, your first alert.